The gas station sits at the corner of two roads that don't go anywhere important. One road runs north and south, connecting a few small towns that most people have never heard of. The other road runs east and west, through flat open country, past cattle ranches and wheat fields, and the occasional abandoned farmhouse with its windows boarded up and its roof slowly caving in. The two roads cross at a right angle, and at that crossing, someone built a gas station about 40 years ago. And the gas station is still there, and it is still open. And tonight its lights are on. The station is a simple place, a flat-roofed concrete block building painted white with two gas pumps out front and a small convenience store inside. A tall metal sign rises from a pole at the edge of the parking lot, advertising the gas prices in large black numbers on a white background. The numbers are the kind that have to be changed by hand, one digit at a time, by a person standing on a small ladder. The sign is lit from the inside by a pair of fluorescent tubes that give the numbers a faint bluish glow. The parking lot is made of cracked asphalt, patched in a few places with dark tar that has softened in the summer heat and hardened again in the winter cold, over and over, year after year, until the patches have become part of the landscape. A few weeds are growing through the cracks at the edges of the lot, where the asphalt meets the gravel shoulder of the road. A single metal trash can stands near the front door of the store, with a black plastic bag inside it, half full. It is a Thursday night in early September. The air is warm but beginning to cool, the way it does in the evenings at the end of summer in this part of the country. The sun went down about 2 hours ago. The sky is dark. A few stars are visible directly overhead, but near the horizon the sky is a hazy gray-orange, the last fading memory of the sunset mixed with the ambient light from a small town about 15 miles to the south. The gas station is quiet. There are no cars at the pumps, no customers inside the store. The only person visible is the attendant, a man in his 50s named Dale, who is sitting behind the counter inside the store, reading a newspaper, drinking a cup of coffee from a styrofoam cup, listening to a small radio that is playing a country station so softly that the music is more of a suggestion than a sound. Dale has been working at this gas station for about 12 years. He works the evening shift, from 4 in the afternoon until midnight, 5 days a week. It is not an exciting job. Most evenings he sells gas to maybe 20 or 30 customers, sells a few bags of chips and a few bottles of soda and a few packs of cigarettes, and spends the rest of the time reading the newspaper and listening to the radio and watching the occasional car pass by on the highway without stopping. He doesn't mind the quietness. He has grown into it over the years, the way a person grows into a comfortable old chair. The quietness is part of the job now. The quietness is part of who he is when he is here. Tonight is a quiet night, quieter than most. Dale has had maybe 10 customers since 4 o'clock. The last one was about 45 minutes ago. A woman in a minivan who bought gas and a bottle of water and drove away without saying much. Since then, nothing. Just Dale and his newspaper and his coffee and the soft country music on the radio. The fluorescent lights inside the store hum very faintly, the way fluorescent lights always hum, a steady, almost subliminal buzz that becomes part of the background after a few minutes, and is only noticeable when someone points it out. The lights cast a flat, bright, slightly blue-white light on everything inside the store, on the rows of snack bags hanging from metal clips on a wire rack, on the refrigerated cases along the back wall filled with sodas and energy drinks and small cartons of milk, on the counter where Dale is sitting, on the small lottery ticket machine in the corner, on the checkered linoleum floor that has been mopped so many times that the pattern has faded to a soft, indistinct blur. Outside, the gas station's exterior lights are on. 2 tall, pole-mounted lights, one at each corner of the parking lot, casting wide cones of white light onto the asphalt. The pumps are lit by a flat canopy overhead, with 4 fluorescent tubes mounted in the canopy's ceiling, throwing a bright, even light down onto the pump islands. The light from the canopy extends about 20 feet in every direction, creating a small, bright rectangle in the middle of the dark parking lot. Beyond the rectangle of light, the darkness of the countryside begins. The fields, the fences, the distant shapes of trees along the road, the enormous dark sky. Moths are circling the canopy lights, dozens of them, small pale moths drawn to the fluorescent glow, spiraling endlessly around the tubes, casting tiny flickering shadows on the concrete below. A few larger insects, June bugs maybe, or small beetles, are bumping against the lights with soft clicking sounds, bouncing off the glass, circling back, bumping again. The insects have been doing this every night since the canopy was built. They will keep doing it every night until the canopy is torn down. Nobody pays attention to them anymore. They are just part of the gas station's nighttime atmosphere, like the hum of the fluorescent lights or the faint smell of gasoline that hangs in the air around the pumps. The smell of the gas station at night is a specific smell. Gasoline. First and always. The sharp, sweet chemical smell of refined petroleum vapors rising from the pumps and from the underground tanks below the asphalt. Underneath the gasoline, there is the smell of warm concrete, the flat roof of the canopy, and the concrete pump islands, still radiating the heat they absorb during the day. There is the smell of motor oil, faint but present, coming from a small display of oil bottles inside the store. And there is, just barely, the smell of the countryside beyond the parking lot, grass and dust and distant cattle, and the clean, dry smell of open air. This is the scene. A small gas station at a small crossroads on a warm September night. Quiet, still, unremarkable. The kind of place that exists in every corner of rural America. The kind of place that most people pass without noticing. The kind of place where nothing important has ever happened and nothing important is expected to happen. And then, at about 9:15 in the evening, Dale looks up from his newspaper. Something has caught his attention. A small movement outside, at the edge of the parking lot, near the road. He looks through the store's front window. The window is large, running almost the full width of the building, and it gives him a clear view of the pumps and the parking lot and the road beyond. He sees a small figure, a very small figure, standing at the edge of the parking lot where the asphalt meets the gravel shoulder of the road. The figure is standing very still, just inside the cone of light from one of the pole-mounted lights, half lit, half in shadow. It is a child, a very small child. Dale sets his newspaper down. He leans forward on his stool, squinting through the window. The child is standing with its arms at its sides, not moving, looking at the gas station as if trying to decide whether to come closer. Dale can see that it is a girl, a little girl. She's wearing a light blue dress, the kind of cotton summer dress that little girls wear in small towns, with small flowers printed on it. Her hair is dark and messy, as if it hasn't been brushed in a while. She is not wearing shoes. She is maybe 6 years old, maybe 7. It is hard to tell from this distance. Dale watches her for about 30 seconds. The girl does not move. She just stands at the edge of the parking lot, looking at the bright lights of the gas station, holding very still. Then, very slowly, she begins to walk toward the store. She walks slowly. Each step is small and careful, as if the asphalt is hurting her bare feet. Her arms are still at her sides. Her head is slightly down, looking at the ground in front of her. She walks past the gas pumps, past the trash can, past the small display of windshield washer fluid stacked outside the front door. She stops in front of the store. She looks up at the front window. The fluorescent light from inside falls on her face, and for the first time, Dale can see her clearly. Her face is dirty, not filthy, not the kind of dirty that comes from neglect, but the kind of dirty that comes from being outside for a long time, from walking through dust and grass and dirt. Her cheeks have tear tracks on them, thin, clean lines running down through the dust on her skin, where tears have washed the dirt away. Her eyes are red. She has been crying. She's not crying now, but she has been crying recently, and she looks like she might start again at any moment. She's holding something in her right hand. A small stuffed animal. A bear. A small brown teddy bear, old and worn, with one ear slightly flattened and a small rip in the seam along its belly where a bit of white stuffing is poking through. She is holding the bear tightly, pressed against her chest. The way children hold things when they are scared, and the thing they are holding is the only familiar object in a world that has suddenly become unfamiliar. Dale stands up from his stool. He walks slowly around the counter and toward the front door. He does not rush. He doesn't want to startle her. He pushes the glass door open gently. The small electronic chime above the door sounds its two-note melody. He steps outside onto the concrete apron in front of the store. The girl looks up at him. Her eyes are wide. She does not step back, but her body tenses slightly, the way a small animal tenses when a larger animal approaches. She tightens her grip on the teddy bear. Dale crouches down slowly so that his face is at her level. He is a big man. Broad shoulders, thick arms, a round face with a gray mustache. And he knows from experience that big men can be frightening to small children unless they make themselves small. He crouches. He puts his hands on his knees. He speaks softly. "Hey there, sweetheart. Are you okay?" The girl looks at him. She does not answer. Her lower lip trembles slightly. "Are you by yourself? Where's your mom and dad?" The girl's eyes fill with tears. She does not make a sound. The tears just rise up slowly, filling her eyes until they spill over and run down her cheeks, cutting new clean tracks through the dust on her face. She hugs the teddy bear tighter against her chest. Dale's heart does something inside his chest. A small, quiet, painful thing. The kind of thing that happens to a person's heart when they see a child alone and scared in the dark, holding a stuffed animal, with no shoes on, with tears running down a dirty face. It is the kind of moment that changes the shape of an evening. The kind of moment that takes a quiet Thursday night at a quiet gas station and turns it into something else entirely. Dale doesn't touch the girl. He does not reach for her. He just stays crouched at her level, his hands on his knees, his voice soft. "It's okay, sweetheart. It's okay. You're safe here. Nobody's gonna hurt you. You want to come inside? It's warm inside. I've got some juice in the cooler. You like apple juice?" The girl looks at him for a long moment. She looks at the store behind him with its bright lights and its racks of snack bags and its humming fluorescent tubes. She looks back at Dale. She nods, very small, very slow, just the tiniest movement of her head. Dale stands up slowly. He holds the door open for her. She walks past him, through the doorway, into the bright, warm interior of the store. Her bare feet make soft padding sounds on the linoleum floor. She stops a few feet inside the door and looks around, her eyes wide, taking in the rows of snacks and the refrigerator cases and the counter and the radio playing its soft country music. Dale walks behind the counter. He opens the small refrigerator case and takes out a small bottle of apple juice. He opens it and pours it into a paper cup. He walks back around the counter and crouches down again and holds the cup out to her. She takes it with her left hand. Her right hand is still holding the teddy bear. She takes a small sip of the juice, then a bigger sip. Then she drinks the whole cup without stopping, the way a person drinks when they have been thirsty for a long time and have finally found something to drink. Dale takes the empty cup. He refills it. He hands it back to her. She drinks half of it and then stops. She holds the cup in one hand and the bear in the other, and she stands in the middle of the store, under the fluorescent lights, looking very small and very lost and very, very tired. Dale pulls a small folding chair out from behind the counter. The chair he keeps for himself when his back hurts and he needs to sit somewhere other than the stool. He unfolds it near the counter. He puts a clean shop towel on the seat because the chair is a little dusty. You can sit here if you want, sweetheart. Just rest. I'm gonna make a phone call, okay? I'm gonna call some people who can help. Is that okay? The girl sits down on the chair. She holds the teddy bear in her lap. She looks down at the bear's face, as if the bear is the only thing in the world she trusts. Right now, Dale walks to the phone on the wall behind the counter. He picks up the receiver. He dials the local sheriff's office. The phone rings 3 times. A woman answers. Dale explains the situation quietly so the girl can't hear the details. A little girl, maybe 6 or 7, alone, no shoes. Looks like she's been walking for a while. Crying. At the gas station at the crossroads. Yes, the one on Route 14. No, he doesn't know who she is. No, he's never seen her before. Yes, he'll keep her safe until someone gets here. He hangs up. He walks back around the counter. The girl is still sitting in the folding chair holding the bear, looking at the floor. She has stopped crying. Her face is calm now, but it is the calm of exhaustion, not the calm of comfort. She's simply too tired to cry anymore. Dale pours himself a fresh cup of coffee. He sits back down on his stool. He does not say anything to the girl. He does not ask her any more questions. He just sits with her quietly in the bright, warm store, listening to the soft country music on the radio, waiting for someone to come. Outside, the gas station lights hum softly. The moths circle the canopy. The dark countryside stretches out in every direction. The 2 roads cross silently at the intersection, empty in both directions. The stars turn slowly overhead. And inside the small store, a big man in a work shirt and a little girl in a blue dress sit together in the fluorescent light, sharing the simple silence of 2 strangers who have found each other in the middle of a big, quiet night. The phone call has been made. Help is coming. But before the sheriff's deputy arrives, something else is going to happen. Something that nobody at the gas station is expecting. Because right now, about 5 miles to the south, moving slowly up the highway in a loose formation, a group of motorcycles is heading this way. 7 of them. 7 riders. 7 headlights cutting through the warm September night, getting closer. They are not coming because of the girl. They don't know about the girl. They are just riding. Just a group of friends on a Thursday night ride, heading north to a small bar about 20 miles up the road, where they go sometimes for burgers and cold beer. They ride together every Thursday evening in the summer. It is their tradition, their small weekly ritual. 7 friends on 7 motorcycles, riding the back roads, taking the long way, because the long way is always the better way. They don't know about the girl. They don't know about Dale. They don't know about the teddy bear. or the apple juice, or the phone call to the sheriff. They are just riding. But in about 4 minutes, they are going to pull into the gas station, and everything is going to change. You can hear them before you can see them. That is always how it is with a group of motorcycles on a quiet night. The sound arrives first, a low, distant rumble, like thunder that has decided to stay on the ground instead of climbing into the sky. The rumble is faint at first, barely distinguishable from the ambient sounds of the night. The hum of the gas station lights, the soft drone of insects in the grass alongside the road, the whisper of a warm breeze moving through the fields. But the rumble grows, slowly, steadily, the way a train grows when it is still far away but getting closer. Dale hears it first. He lifts his head from his coffee cup and tilts it slightly, the way people do when they are trying to locate a sound. His ears, trained by 12 years of working evening shifts at a gas station on a rural highway, can identify most approaching vehicles by sound alone. A semi-truck has a deep diesel growl and a particular rhythm to its tires on the road. A pickup truck has a lighter engine note and a rattle from whatever is loose in the bed. A car has a smooth hum that is mostly unremarkable. Motorcycles have their own sound. And a group of motorcycles has a sound that is entirely unlike anything else. It is not just louder. It is fuller, richer, more complex. Each engine in the group has its own voice, its own pitch, its own rhythm, its own particular character. And when 7 engines are running together, the individual voices overlap and blend and separate and blend again, creating a layered rolling chord of mechanical sound that fills the whole landscape. The rumble gets louder. Dale can feel it now, not just hear it. A very faint vibration in the countertop under his hands. A very faint trembling in the glass of the front window. The sound is coming from the south, from the direction of the small town, and it is getting closer quickly. The little girl in the folding chair hears it too. She lifts her head. Her eyes widen slightly. She looks toward the front window of the store, where the dark highway is visible beyond the bright cone of the canopy lights. She tightens her grip on the teddy bear. She does not look scared exactly. She looks alert, watchful, the way small children look when something new and large is approaching, and they are not sure what it is. Dale walks to the front window. He looks out. For a moment he sees nothing, just the dark road and the dark fields and the dark sky. Then, at the far edge of his vision, he sees the headlights. 7 of them, arranged in a loose, staggered formation, the way experienced riders arrange themselves when they ride in groups, not in a straight line, but in a zigzag pattern, each rider offset to one side of the rider in front, giving every person in the group a clear view of the road ahead. The headlights get bigger. The rumble gets louder. The vibration in the window glass gets stronger. And then, one by one, the motorcycles come into view. They are cruisers, mostly. Big American bikes. Harleys, a couple of Indians, one old Honda that looks like it has been customized into something that doesn't quite match any factory model. The bikes are not identical, but they share a certain character. They are all big. They are all loud. They are all ridden by people who clearly know what they are doing. The formation is clean. The spacing is even. Each rider is sitting upright, relaxed in the easy, confident posture of someone who has been riding for many years. The first bike in the formation is a black Harley-Davidson Road King with a big chrome engine and a wide windshield. The rider is a large man, broad shoulders, thick arms, a dark leather vest over a black t-shirt. He has a short gray beard and a black bandana tied around his head. He looks like the kind of man that most people would cross the street to avoid if they saw him walking toward them on a sidewalk. He looks tough. He looks serious. He looks like he has lived a life that has not always been easy. His name is Ray. He is 54 years old. He is a carpenter by trade. He's been riding motorcycles since he was 16. He has been leading this Thursday night group ride for about 8 years, ever since his friend Mike, who used to lead it, moved to Arizona for his wife's health. Ray does not think of himself as the leader of the group. He thinks of himself as the guy who happens to ride in front. But the others follow him, and they trust his judgment on the road. And when decisions need to be made, they look to him. That makes him the leader, whether he thinks of it that way or not. Behind Ray in the staggered formation ride the other 6. There is Tommy, a 48-year-old mechanic with a long ponytail and a quiet temperament, riding a silver Harley Softail. There is Big Ed, a former high school football coach, 60 years old, 6'4", 270 pounds, riding a maroon Indian chief that looks like a toy underneath him. There is Janine, the only woman in the group, 45, a nurse at the county hospital, riding a black Harley Sportster with a custom paint job. Small white stars scattered across the tank like a quiet night sky. There is Marcus, 39, the youngest of the group, a firefighter riding a dark green Harley Street Glide. There is Leon, 51, a retired postal worker riding a blue Honda Shadow that he has been modifying and tweaking for over a decade. And there is Frank, 57, a soft-spoken man who owns a small hardware store in town, riding a black Harley Electra Glide with a small American flag attached to the antenna. 7 riders, 7 bikes, 7 different people from 7 different walks of life, connected by one thing. They all love to ride, and they all love riding together. The formation slows as it approaches the gas station. Ray, in front, puts on his turn signal, an old habit, a polite habit, the habit of a man who believes that even bikers should signal their turns, and leans gently into the turn. The Road King rolls off the highway and into the gas station parking lot. The other 6 follow, one by one, peeling off the road in a smooth, practiced sequence, their engines dropping from a cruise note to an idle note as they slow down. 7 motorcycles pull into the parking lot of the small gas station. 7 engines rumble. 7 headlights sweep across the cracked asphalt. The sound fills the parking lot completely, a deep, rolling thunder that echoes off the concrete block wall of the store and bounces back across the lot and fades into the surrounding fields. Moths scatter from the canopy lights, startled by the noise and the vibration, then circle back and settle again. One by one, the riders park their bikes in a loose row along the side of the lot, angled toward the curb, kickstands down. One by one, the engines shut off. The rumble dies, first Ray's, then Tommy's, then Big Ed's, then Janine's, then Marcus's, then Leon's, then Frank's. 7 engines, silenced in sequence like the instruments of a small orchestra, finishing a song one at a time. The silence that follows is sudden and deep. After the rumble of 7 engines, the quiet of the gas station parking lot feels almost physical. The hum of the fluorescent lights, the soft chirping of crickets in the grass, the faint country music drifting out through the store's front door, which Dale has propped open with a small rubber wedge because the evening is warm. The riders dismount slowly. They stretch. They pull off helmets and hang them on handlebars. They shake out their hair and rub their necks and roll their shoulders. Big Ed pops his back with a loud crack that makes Janine wince. Marcus pulls off his gloves and tucks them into his belt. Leon takes off his glasses and cleans them on the hem of his shirt. Frank adjusts the small American flag on his antenna, which has gotten crooked from the wind. Ray is the first one to walk toward the store. He's going inside to buy a bottle of water and maybe a bag of peanuts. He rides with peanuts in his vest pocket on long rides, an old habit from his early years of riding, when he couldn't afford to stop at restaurants and would carry peanuts and beef jerky to eat at gas stations along the way. The habit stuck, even though he can afford restaurants now. Some habits are not about need. Some habits are about identity. He pushes open the glass door. The two-note electronic chime sounds. He steps inside. The bright fluorescent light hits his face. He squints slightly, and then he sees the girl. She's sitting in the folding chair near the counter. She is very small. Her bare feet do not reach the floor. Her blue dress is dirty. Her hair is tangled. Her face has tear tracks on it. She's holding a small brown teddy bear against her chest with both arms. She is looking at him with wide, dark eyes that are red from crying. Ray stops. He stands in the doorway for a full 2 seconds without moving. His brain is processing what he is seeing. A little girl, alone, in a gas station, at 9:30 at night. Barefoot, dirty, holding a stuffed animal, looking at him the way a cornered animal looks at something large that has just appeared in its field of vision. Ray has a daughter. She's 26 now. She lives in Denver. She works at a veterinary clinic. She calls him every Sunday. But once, a long time ago, she was this small. She was this vulnerable. She had dark eyes like these. She held stuffed animals like this. And when she was scared, she looked exactly the way this little girl is looking right now. Something shifts inside Ray's chest. A small movement. A small rearrangement of priorities. A few seconds ago, he was thinking about peanuts and water. Now he's thinking about nothing except the child in the folding chair. He does not move toward her. He stays in the doorway. He knows, from years of being a big man in a world that is sometimes frightened of big men, that approaching a scared child too quickly is the wrong thing to do. He stays where he is. He looks at Dale behind the counter. "Dale," he says quietly, "what's going on?" Dale knows Ray. Everyone in this part of the county knows Ray. Ray buys gas here regularly. He is a good customer. He always pays with cash. He always says please and thank you. He sometimes brings Dale a bag of apples from the tree in his backyard because the tree produces more apples than Ray can eat, and he doesn't like to see them go to waste. "She walked in about 15 minutes ago," Dale says, keeping his voice low. "She was standing at the edge of the lot by herself. No shoes, no parent. She won't tell me her name. She won't tell me where she's from. She's been crying. I gave her some juice. I called the sheriff." Ray nods slowly. He looks at the girl again. She is still watching him. She has not moved. She has not looked away. "How long till the sheriff gets here?" "They said about 30 minutes. Deputies coming from town." Ray nods again. He turns and walks back outside. The door swings shut behind him. He walks over to where the other riders are standing near their bikes, talking quietly among themselves, stretching, getting ready to continue the ride to the bar up the road. "Hold up," Ray says. His voice is calm, but it has a quality in it that the others recognize immediately. It is the quality that Ray's voice gets when something matters, when something has changed, when the Thursday night ride has become something other than a Thursday night ride. The others stop talking. They look at him. "There's a little girl inside," Ray says, maybe 6 or 7 years old. "She's alone. She walked in from the road. No shoes, no parents." Dale called the sheriff, but they're 30 minutes out. Nobody says anything for a moment. The information settles into the group the way a stone settles into water. Slowly, with weight. Janine is the first to speak. Is she hurt? Doesn't look hurt. Looks scared. Looks like she's been walking for a while. I want to see her, Janine says. She says it quietly, but there is no question in her voice. Janine is a nurse. She has been a nurse for 22 years. She has taken care of hundreds of children in the county hospital emergency room. She knows how to talk to scared children. She knows how to check them for injuries without making them more scared. She knows how to hold a child's hand without holding it too tight. Ray nods. Go ahead, but go slow. She's spooked. Janine walks toward the store. She moves slowly. She takes off her riding gloves and puts them in her back pocket. She runs her fingers through her hair, smoothing it down. She unzips her leather jacket part way so that her clothes underneath are visible. A simple blue t-shirt. Unthreatening. Normal. She wants to look less like a biker and more like a person. She knows from experience that children respond to faces and clothes and body language more than to words. She wants her body to say, I am safe. I am calm. You can trust me. She pushes open the glass door. The chime sounds. She steps inside. The girl looks at her. Janine smiles. Not a big smile. Just a small, warm smile. The kind of smile that says hello without saying anything else. Janine walks slowly to the counter. She does not approach the girl directly. She stands near the counter about 6 feet from the folding chair, and she looks at Dale. She asks him quietly to pour her a cup of coffee. Dale pours one. Janine takes it. She holds it in both hands, the way she has seen thousands of people hold coffee cups, the universal gesture of a person who is just trying to get warm and is not a threat to anyone. She sips the coffee. She looks around the store. She looks at the snack rack. She looks at the lottery machine. She looks casually at the girl in the folding chair. She does not stare. She does not approach. She just lets herself be present in the room the way a calm person is present in a room, without urgency, without demand, without any energy that a child might interpret as pressure. After about a minute, Janine crouches down slowly, not next to the girl, about 4 feet away. She holds her coffee cup in one hand. She rests her other hand on her knee. Hi there, she says softly. I'm Janine. What's your bear's name? The girl looks at her. She looks at the teddy bear in her arms. She looks back at Janine. For a long moment, she says nothing. Her lower lip trembles once, very briefly. Then it stops. Charlie, she says. Her voice is very small, almost a whisper. The first word she has spoken since she arrived at the gas station. Charlie, Janine repeats gently. That's a good name. He looks like a Charlie. He looks like he's been on a lot of adventures. The girl looks down at the bear. She nods slightly. The tiniest movement. My name's Janine. I'm a nurse. Do you know what a nurse is? The girl nods again. Good. I'm going to stay here with you for a little while, okay? I'm not going to touch you or bother you. I'm just going to sit here and drink my coffee. Is that okay? The girl looks at her for a long moment. She seems to be thinking. Then she nods. One more tiny nod. Janine sits down on the floor, cross-legged, right there on the linoleum. She sets her coffee cup beside her. She sits quietly. She does not say anything else. She just sits and breathes and waits. This is what Janine does. This is what she has learned in 22 years of nursing. Sometimes the most helpful thing you can do for a scared person is simply sit near them and be calm. Outside, the other riders are standing near their bikes in a loose semicircle. Ray has told them what he knows. The group is quiet. The usual Thursday night energy, the joking, the laughing, the easy camaraderie of friends who ride together, has been replaced by a different energy, a quieter energy, a more serious energy. The energy of people who have encountered something unexpected and are trying to figure out what to do about it. Big Ed speaks first. His voice is surprisingly soft for such a large man. "She needs a blanket," he says. "It's cooling off. She's in a thin dress." He walks to his Indian chief and opens one of his saddlebags. He pulls out a small rolled-up fleece blanket, the kind he carries for cold rides or for sitting on at rest stops. He hands it to Ray. Ray walks to the store door and pushes it open and hands the blanket to Janine without stepping all the way inside. Janine takes it with a nod. She unfolds the blanket. It is dark red, soft. She holds it out toward the girl, not too close, not too far. An offering, not an imposition. "Would you like a blanket, sweetheart? It's nice and warm." The girl looks at the blanket. She looks at Janine. She reaches out one small hand, the hand that isn't holding the teddy bear, and takes the edge of the blanket. She pulls it toward her slowly. Then she wraps it around herself, tucking it under her chin, pulling it tight with one arm, while the other arm holds Charlie the bear against her chest. She looks warmer immediately. The red fleece is wrapped around her small body like a cocoon. Only her face and the top of the teddy bear's head are visible above the edge of the blanket. Janine smiles her small, warm smile. "There you go. Better?" The girl nods. Outside, Marcus the firefighter has walked to the edge of the parking lot and is looking down the road in both directions. He's thinking about where the girl might have come from. The nearest house is at least a mile away, he estimates. The nearest town is 15 miles. For a barefoot child to walk to this gas station from anywhere, she would have had to walk a significant distance, in the dark, alone, on a road with no sidewalks and no streetlights. Marcus walks back to the group. "She's been walking for a while," he says. "Maybe a long while. Her feet are dirty, not just dusty, ground in dirty, like she's been on gravel roads." Tommy, the mechanic, is leaning against his soft ale with his arms crossed. He is not saying much. Tommy rarely says much. He is a quiet man who processes things internally before speaking. But his face, in the light from the gas station canopy, is troubled. He has 3 grandchildren. The youngest is 5. He is imagining the youngest one standing alone at the edge of a gas station parking lot at 9 o'clock at night, barefoot, holding a stuffed animal, crying. The image makes his stomach hurt. Frank, the hardware store owner, has taken out his phone. In the year we are in, phones are simple. They make calls, they send texts, that is about it. Frank is scrolling through his contacts. He is looking for the number of a woman he knows named Sarah, who runs a small family services office in the county seat about 20 miles away. Sarah is the kind of person who knows what to do when a child is found alone. She is the kind of person who answers her phone at 9:30 at night. Frank finds her number and calls. He walks away from the group for privacy, speaking softly into the phone, explaining the situation. Leon, the retired postal worker, has gone inside the store. He is standing near the refrigerator case, pretending to look at the drinks, but really he is just being present. Being another calm body in the room. He is a grandfather 6 times over. He knows that sometimes a scared child doesn't need a hero. A scared child just needs to see enough calm, kind adults in the room to start believing that the world is safe again. The gas station is no longer quiet. It is not loud. Nobody is shouting. Nobody is panicking. Nobody is making a scene. But it is full of a quiet, purposeful activity that was not here 15 minutes ago. 7 motorcycles are parked in a row along the curb. 7 riders are moving around the parking lot and the store with a slow, focused energy. A little girl is sitting in a folding chair wrapped in a red fleece blanket. A teddy bear named Charlie is being held tightly against a small chest. A nurse is sitting cross-legged on the floor, sipping coffee, radiating calm. A cashier named Dale is standing behind his counter, watching everything with a mixture of concern and gratitude, grateful that he is no longer the only adult in the building. And somewhere out there, on the dark road to the south, a sheriff's deputy is driving slowly toward the gas station. Blue lights off, no siren because there is no emergency here. Just a small girl who needs help and a small group of people who are quietly, patiently, stubbornly determined to give it to her. The moths continue to circle the canopy lights. The crickets continue to sing in the grass. The warm September air continues to drift through the propped open door of the store. The country music on Dale's radio continues to play its soft, slow songs. And inside the store, Janine sits on the floor beside the folding chair, and the little girl in the red blanket looks at her with dark, tired eyes. And something very small and very quiet and very important is beginning to happen. Trust. Not the big dramatic kind of trust that happens in movies. Not the kind that arrives with a speech or a gesture or a single heroic act. The small kind. The kind that builds one tiny piece at a time. One quiet word. One small smile. One warm blanket. One cup of apple juice. One calm body sitting nearby on a linoleum floor. The kind of trust that takes time. The kind of trust that these 7 writers, without planning it, and without discussing it, and without knowing exactly what they are doing, are beginning to build. The trust builds slowly. The way trust always builds with small children who have been through something difficult. Not in a single moment, not in a single sentence, in small pieces, in tiny gestures, in the gradual accumulation of quiet kindness from people who are not in any hurry to get anywhere. Janine sits on the linoleum floor for a long time. She does not ask the girl any more questions right away. She just sits. She sips her coffee. She looks at the snack rack. She looks at the ceiling. She breathes slowly. She's creating a zone of calm around the folding chair. A small, invisible perimeter of safety that the girl can feel without being able to name it. This is one of the things that 22 years of nursing has taught Janine. That the body responds to calm the way a plant responds to sunlight. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to announce it. You just have to be it consistently for long enough, and the person near you will begin to absorb it. After about 5 minutes, the girl's shoulders drop, just slightly, a quarter of an inch. But Janine notices. Janine notices everything about bodies. She notices the small relaxation in the girl's grip on the teddy bear. She notices the way the girl's breathing has slowed from short, shallow breaths to slightly longer, slightly deeper ones. She notices the way the girl's eyes have stopped darting around the room and have begun to settle. First on Janine, then on the floor, then on the teddy bear, then back to Janine. The girl is beginning to regulate. She's beginning to come down from whatever fear and adrenaline and exhaustion brought her to this gas station tonight. She is beginning to feel, in some small wordless way, that the people in this room are not going to hurt her. Janine waits until the girl's eyes settle on her for a full 3 seconds without looking away. Then she speaks, very softly, very gently. "Sweetheart, can you tell me your name?" The girl looks at her, a long pause, then in that same tiny whisper, "Emma, Emma. That's a beautiful name. How old are you, Emma?" Another pause. The girl holds up one hand, the hand not holding Charlie, and extends 6 fingers. Then she looks at her hand and folds one finger down and puts it back up again, as if she's not entirely sure whether she is 6 or 7. She settles on 6. "6 years old," Janine says. "Okay, that's good, Emma. You're doing really well. Can I ask you one more question?" Emma nods. Do you know where your mom is tonight? Emma's face changes. The small amount of calm that has been building over the last few minutes flickers. Her lower lip pushes forward slightly. Her eyes get wet. She looks down at Charlie the teddy bear. Mama's sleeping, she whispers. Janine's heart rate increases slightly, but her face remains perfectly calm. Her voice remains perfectly steady. 22 years of nursing. 22 years of hearing things from patients that make her heart hurt while keeping her face neutral. This is the most important skill she has ever learned. The ability to feel one thing inside and show something different outside. Not because she's being dishonest, but because the person in front of her needs calm more than they need to see someone else's distress. Your mama's sleeping, Janine repeats gently. Okay, where is your mama sleeping, Emma? Is she sleeping at home? Emma nods, very small. And where is home? Do you know the name of the road you live on? Or the name of your town? Emma shakes her head. She does not know. She is 6 years old. 6-year-olds do not usually know their addresses. They know their homes by the way they look, by the color of the front door, by the shape of the tree in the yard, by the smell of the kitchen. They navigate by landmarks, not by street names. Emma knows how to get home from the bus stop, and how to get home from the grocery store, and how to get home from her friend Lucy's house. But she does not know how to get home from a gas station she has never been to before, on a road she has never seen before, in the dark. Janine changes direction. She does not push. Pushing a scared child for information they don't have only makes the child more scared. That's okay, Emma. You don't have to know. Can you tell me what happened tonight? Why did you leave your house? Emma is quiet for a long time. She holds Charlie against her chest. She looks at the floor. Janine waits. The store is quiet. Dale is behind the counter listening, not moving. Leon is standing near the refrigerator case, pretending to read the label on a bottle of orange juice, also listening. The radio plays its soft country song. The fluorescent lights hum. Outside, through the open door, the faint sound of the other riders talking quietly in the parking lot drifts in on the warm air. Then Emma speaks, slowly, in fragments, the way small children speak when they are telling a story that is too big for their vocabulary. Mama was sleeping. She sleeps a lot. She took her medicine and she went to sleep. I was hungry. There wasn't food in the kitchen. I looked in the cabinets and there wasn't any food. I looked in the fridge and there was just some old milk. I tried to wake up Mama, but she wouldn't wake up. I shaked her arm. She wouldn't wake up. Emma pauses. She pulls the blanket tighter around herself. I was scared. I went outside. I wanted to find a grown-up. But there's no houses near our house, just the road. I walked on the road. I walked for a long time. My feet got hurted. I saw the lights, the big lights. She looks up at the fluorescent canopy lights visible through the front window. I walk to the lights. Janine absorbs this. She absorbs it the way a sponge absorbs water, completely, quietly, without resistance. She does not react visibly. She does not gasp. She does not shake her head. She does not make any sound or movement that might make Emma feel that what she has said is alarming or unusual, or something to be ashamed of. But inside Janine's chest, something is happening. A slow, heavy feeling is settling into her. A feeling she has felt many times in 22 years of nursing. The feeling of hearing a story that is not unusual. The feeling of hearing a story that happens every day, in every county, in every state, to children just like Emma, who live in houses where the parent sleeps too long because of medicine, and where the cabinets are empty, and where there are no neighbors close enough to help, and where the only option for a scared, hungry 6-year-old is to walk out the front door into the dark and follow the road until she finds a light. Janine has heard this story before. The details change. The names change. The ages change. But the story is the same. A child who is more alone than any child should ever be, doing the bravest thing she has ever done, walking into the night by herself to find help, because no one in her life is able to help her right now. Emma, Janine says softly, you did a really brave thing tonight, walking all that way by yourself. That was very brave. Emma looks at her. She does not seem to think she was brave. She seems to think she was just doing the only thing she could think of to do. I was scared, Emma says. I know you were, sweetheart. Being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. Being brave means you do the thing even when you're scared. And you did. Emma thinks about this. She looks down at Charlie. She adjusts the bear's position slightly, straightening one of his arms. Then she looks back at Janine. Is Mama okay? Janine pauses. She does not know whether Mama is okay. She does not know what kind of medicine Mama took. She does not know whether Mama took too much medicine or the right amount of medicine, or whether Mama is simply a very deep sleeper. She does not know whether Emma's Mama needs help. She does know that a child who cannot wake her mother and who has walked miles in the dark to find a grown-up is a child whose mother probably needs someone to check on her. I don't know, honey, Janine says honestly. But we're gonna find out. The sheriff is coming, and the sheriff will go to your house and make sure your mama is okay. Do you know which direction you walked from? Did you walk a long time? Emma nods. A real long time. My feet got hurted a lot. Did you walk along the big road? The road with the yellow line in the middle? Emma nods. Did you come from that direction? Janine points south. Or that direction. She points north. Emma thinks. She looks toward the south-facing window of the store. She looks at the dark road visible through the glass. She points south. That way. I walked a real long time. I passed a big tree that was fall down, and a bridge with water under it, and a mailbox that was shaped like a fish. Janine stands up slowly. She walks to the front door of the store. Ray is standing just outside, leaning against the wall, arms crossed, listening. He has heard everything through the propped open door. His face is very still. His jaw is set. His eyes are focused on something in the middle distance, not looking at anything specific, just processing. Janine steps outside. She speaks to Ray quietly, away from the door so Emma can't hear. Her name is Emma. She's 6. Her mom took some kind of medicine and fell asleep, and Emma couldn't wake her up. There's no food in the house. Emma walked here from somewhere south of here along this road. She mentioned a fallen tree, a bridge with water, and a mailbox shaped like a fish. Ray nods slowly. He is already thinking. He knows this road. He has ridden it hundreds of times. South of here, on this road, there is indeed a small bridge about 2 miles down. There is a dead oak tree that fell across a fence line about 3 miles down. And there is a mailbox shaped like a fish, a largemouth bass actually, painted green, mounted on a wooden post, about 4 miles down, in front of a small house set back from the road behind a row of overgrown bushes. I know the house, Ray says. It's about 4 miles south. Small place, white siding, set back from the road. There's a gravel driveway. I've seen a woman there a few times sitting on the porch. I never talked to her. Janine looks at him. Someone needs to go check on the mother. If she took something and she can't be woken up, she might need medical attention. Ray uncrosses his arms. He stands up straight. He turns to the group in the parking lot. Marcus, he says. Marcus steps forward. Marcus is a firefighter. He has medical training. He has been in houses where people have taken too much medicine. He knows what to look for. He knows what to do. You heard? Ray asks. I heard. House is about 4 miles south. White siding, gravel driveway, mailbox shaped like a fish. You can't miss it. Go check on the mother. If she needs help, call an ambulance. If she's okay, come back and tell us. Marcus nods. He doesn't hesitate. He walks to his street glide, swings his leg over it, starts the engine. The deep rumble fills the parking lot briefly. He backs the bike out of its parking spot, rolls across the lot, turns south onto the highway, and accelerates into the dark. The sound of his engine fades gradually, swallowed by the night, getting softer and softer until it disappears. The parking lot is quieter now. 6 bikes instead of 7. 6 riders instead of 7. One rider heading south through the dark toward a small white house with a gravel driveway and a mailbox shaped like a fish, where a woman is sleeping and cannot be woken up by her 6-year-old daughter. Inside the store, Emma has heard the motorcycle start and leave. She looks at Janine, who has come back inside. "Where did that one go?" Emma asks. "He went to check on your mama, sweetheart. He's going to make sure she's okay." Emma's eyes widen. "He's going to help, Mama?" "Yes, honey. He's going to help." Emma looks down at Charlie the bear. She squeezes him gently. Her chin trembles, but she does not cry. She just nods slowly and pulls the red blanket tighter around herself and waits. Outside, the remaining riders have settled into a quiet vigil. They are not leaving. The Thursday night ride to the bar is forgotten. Nobody has mentioned it. Nobody has checked the time. Nobody has looked at their phone or suggested that they should probably get going. The bar will be open next Thursday. The burgers and the cold beer will be there next Thursday. Tonight they are here, at a gas station, with a little girl named Emma who walked 4 miles in the dark with no shoes to find a grown-up. Ray has gone inside the store. He is standing near the counter, talking quietly with Dale. Dale is telling him what he knows, which is not much more than what Emma has already told Janine. Ray listens. He nods. He asks a few questions. Dal answers. Big Ed has walked to the vending machine outside the store. He has put 3 quarters into the machine and pressed the button for a package of peanut butter crackers. The crackers fall into the tray at the bottom with a soft thump. He picks them up. He walks into the store. He crouches down near the folding chair, slowly, carefully, the way a man who weighs 270 pounds crouches when he is trying not to intimidate a small child. "Hey there, little one," he says softly. His voice is deep but gentle, like a bass guitar playing a lullaby. "You hungry? I got some crackers. Here. Peanut butter. You like peanut butter?" Emma looks up at him. Big Ed is the biggest human being she has ever seen. His arms are thicker than her legs. His hands are the size of dinner plates. His face is broad and weathered and kind. He looks like a mountain that has learned to smile. Emma nods. She is hungry. She has been hungry for a long time. That is why she left the house in the first place. Because there was no food in the kitchen and she was hungry. And her mama wouldn't wake up, and she didn't know what else to do. Big Ed opens the package of crackers. He holds one out to her. She takes it with her small hand. She bites into it. She chews quickly. She takes another bite. And another. She eats the cracker in about 4 bites. Big Ed hands her another one. She eats that one too. He hands her another. She eats half of it and then slows down, as if her stomach is beginning to catch up with her hunger and is telling her to take it easy. Big Ed watches her eat. His face does not change, but if you look very closely at his eyes, if you look past the weathered skin and the crow's feet and the thick eyebrows, you would see something shining in them, something wet, something that Big Ed would deny absolutely if anyone ever mentioned it. Big Ed does not cry. Big Ed has not cried in 20 years. But right now, watching a 6-year-old girl eat peanut butter crackers in a gas station at 10 o'clock at night because there is no food in her house, something very close to crying is happening somewhere deep inside the former high school football coach. He stands up slowly. He walks to the back of the store. He stands with his back to the room for about 30 seconds. He takes a few deep breaths. He wipes his eyes with the back of his hand. Then he walks back to the front of the store and stands near the counter, arms crossed, face composed, as if nothing has happened. Tommy, the mechanic, has come inside now, too. He walks to the snack rack and picks up a small bag of animal crackers, the kind in the small pink box with the circus animals on the front. He pays Dale for them. He walks over to Emma and holds them out without saying anything. Emma looks at the pink box. A small flicker of something crosses her face. Something that might be, in another circumstance, the beginning of a smile. She takes the box. She opens it carefully. She pulls out an animal cracker, a small lion, and holds it up and looks at it before putting it in her mouth. Frank, the hardware store owner, has come inside. He's brought with him a small package of tissues from his saddlebag. He hands them to Janine. Janine gently offers one to Emma. Emma takes it and wipes her face. The tissue comes away dirty. Janine offers her another one. Emma wipes her face again. This time, the tissue comes away a little cleaner. Leon has bought a small bottle of water from the cooler and has set it on the counter near Emma's chair, open, with a straw from the straw dispenser next to the register. Emma picks it up and drinks. 6 riders are now inside the gas station store, arranged in a loose semicircle around the folding chair where a 6-year-old girl is sitting wrapped in a red fleece blanket, eating animal crackers and drinking water through a straw while holding a teddy bear named Charlie. 6 large adults, most of them wearing leather and denim, most of them with tattoos and beards and the general appearance of people that polite society might cross the street to avoid. 6 people who, 15 minutes ago, were on their way to a bar for burgers and beer. 6 people who are now, without discussion and without hesitation, doing the only thing that matters, taking care of a child. The scene is not dramatic. It is not cinematic. There is no soundtrack swelling in the background. There are no speeches. There is no single heroic gesture. There is just a group of people doing small, quiet things, offering crackers, opening water bottles, handing over tissues, sitting on the floor, standing nearby, being present, being calm, being the kind of adults that a scared child needs to see in a room. Adults who are big enough to protect her and gentle enough not to frighten her. About 20 minutes after Marcus left, the sound of a motorcycle engine becomes audible from the south. The riders inside the store lift their heads. The sound gets closer. Headlights appear on the road. Marcus's dark green Street Glide rolls into the parking lot and pulls to a stop near the other bikes. Marcus shuts off the engine. He dismounts quickly. He walks toward the store. His face is serious but not alarmed. Ray meets him at the door. "Found the house," Marcus says, keeping his voice low so Emma can't hear. "White siding, mailbox like a fish, just like you said. Front door was open. Mother was on the couch, asleep. I checked her. She's breathing. Pulse is steady. She's just deeply asleep. There were some prescription bottles on the coffee table. Pain medication. Looks like she might have taken more than she should have, but she's not in danger. I called the ambulance from the house phone. They're on their way. I also called the sheriff again and gave them the address." Ray nods. "The house. What was it like inside?" Marcus pauses. He looks at the ground for a moment. It's not good, Ray. Cabinets are empty. Fridge is empty except for some old milk. The house is messy but not dirty. It's the mess of someone who's struggling, not someone who doesn't care. There are drawings on the fridge, kids' drawings, crayons on the kitchen table, a small bed in the back room with a pink blanket and some stuffed animals. The mom is trying. She's not doing well. Ray is quiet for a long moment. He looks through the store window at Emma, who is eating another animal cracker, slowly, methodically, one small bite at a time. He watches her for about 10 seconds. Then he looks back at Marcus. She walked 4 miles, Ray says quietly, barefoot, in the dark, by herself, to find a grown-up, because her mama couldn't wake up and there was no food in the house. Marcus nods. She's 6 years old, Ray says. Marcus nods again. Ray takes a deep breath. He lets it out slowly. He runs his hand over his face. He looks at the ground. He looks at the sky. He looks at the dark road stretching south into the night, toward the small white house where a mother is sleeping on a couch and an ambulance is on its way. We're gonna help them, Ray says. It is not a question. It is not a suggestion. It is a statement. The kind of statement that a man makes when he has decided something and the decision is final. Marcus nods one more time. Ray turns and walks back into the store. The other riders look at him. They can see something in his face. Something has changed. Something has been decided. They don't know what it is yet, but they know Ray. They know that when Ray's face looks like that, something is about to happen. Something real. Something that matters. Ray walks to the counter. He looks at all of them. He speaks quietly but clearly. Here's what we're gonna do. Ray stands at the counter and looks at each of his friends, one at a time. He does not rush. He gives each person a moment of eye contact before moving to the next. This is how Ray communicates when something matters. Not with volume, not with drama, with presence, with the steady, calm authority of a man who has spent his whole life working with his hands and solving problems one step at a time. The girl's name is Emma, he says. She's 6. Her mama is sick. Not dying, Marcus checked, but sick. Taking pain medication. Probably too much of it. The house has no food. The cabinets are empty. The fridge is empty. Emma walked 4 miles down the highway in the dark with no shoes because she was hungry, and her mama wouldn't wake up. The ambulance is on its way to the house. The sheriff is on his way here. They're gonna handle the official stuff. But when the official stuff is done, that little girl is gonna go back to a house with no food in it. And that's not okay. Nobody speaks. The fluorescent lights hum. The radio plays softly. Emma is in her folding chair eating the last animal cracker from the pink box, not listening to what Ray is saying because Ray is speaking too quietly for her to hear from across the room. Janine is sitting on the floor near Emma, half turned toward Ray, listening. Here's what I think we should do, Ray says. Tomorrow morning, first thing, we go to the grocery store. We buy food, real food, not snacks, groceries, enough to fill those cabinets and that fridge for at least 2 weeks. Milk, bread, eggs, cereal, peanut butter, fruit, vegetables, chicken, rice, juice, the kind of stuff a kid needs to eat. We take it to the house. We stock the kitchen. We don't make a big deal about it. We just do it. He pauses. He looks around the group. And if the mama needs help, real help, not just a one-time grocery delivery, we figure out what kind of help she needs and we find it for her. Frank, you already called Sarah at Family Services. She'll know what's available. Janine, you know the hospital social workers. Big Ed, you know the churches. Between all of us, we know enough people in this county to find help for one mother and one little girl. He pauses again. He looks down at the counter for a moment, as if gathering one more thought. I know this isn't what we planned tonight. I know we were supposed to be at the bar by now, eating burgers and talking about football. But that little girl walked 4 miles in the dark to find us. She didn't know she was looking for us. She was just looking for a light, but she found us, and I think that means something. I think that means we're supposed to do something about it. He stops talking. He waits. Big Ed speaks first. I'm in, he says. 2 words, that's all. 2 words from a man who weighs 270 pounds and who has been standing in the back of the store for the last 5 minutes, trying not to cry in front of his friends. In, says Tommy the mechanic. 1 word, that's all Tommy needs. I'll handle the groceries, says Frank. I'll open the store early and put a list together. I'll cover the cost. No, you won't, says Ray. We'll all cover it. Split 7 ways. 6 ways, says Janine from the floor. I'm buying the cleaning supplies. That house probably needs a good cleaning too. 5 ways, says Leon. I'm buying the kid some shoes. She can't walk around barefoot. 4 ways, says Marcus. I'm buying a new teddy bear. That one she's got is falling apart. The group looks at each other. Something has happened. Something quiet and powerful. A decision has been made, not by one person giving an order, but by 7 people arriving at the same conclusion independently, each one adding their own small piece to the plan, each one taking responsibility for the part they are best equipped to handle. This is how things work in small groups of people who trust each other. The leader proposes. The group responds. Each person finds their role. The plan assembles itself like a puzzle being solved by 7 pairs of hands at once. Ray nods. He does not smile. He is not the kind of man who smiles when something serious is happening. But his face has a quality that the others recognize. A quality of deep, steady satisfaction. The satisfaction of a man who asked something of his friends and received exactly the answer he expected. A few minutes later, headlights appear on the road from the south. A white SUV with a light bar on the roof. The sheriff's deputy. The SUV pulls into the gas station parking lot and stops near the pumps. A young deputy in a brown uniform gets out. He is in his early 30s, clean-shaven, professional. He walks toward the store with the controlled, purposeful stride of a law enforcement officer responding to a call. Ray meets him at the door. They talk quietly for a few minutes. Ray tells the deputy what he knows. The deputy listens, nods, takes notes in a small notebook. Then the deputy walks inside and crouches down near Emma's folding chair. He introduces himself. His name is Deputy Williams. He speaks to Emma gently, professionally, the way he has been trained to speak to children. Emma answers his questions in her small, quiet voice. She tells him her name. She tells him about her mama. She tells him about walking to the lights. The deputy makes a phone call. He confirms that the ambulance has reached Emma's mother's house. The mother has been woken up. She is groggy but conscious. She is not in medical danger. The paramedics are evaluating her. A social worker has been notified and will visit the house tomorrow morning. The deputy tells Emma that her mama is awake now, and that her mama is okay. Emma's face changes when she hears this. The tension that has been sitting behind her eyes since she arrived at the gas station, a tension so constant that nobody noticed it until it was gone, dissolves. Her shoulders drop. Her grip on Charlie loosens slightly. A single tear runs down her cheek, but it isn't a sad tear. It is a relief tear. The kind of tear that comes when a weight you have been carrying for hours is finally lifted off your shoulders. Mama's awake? Emma whispers. Yes, sweetheart, the deputy says. Your mama's awake. She's talking to the nice people at the house. She's asking about you. She wants to know you're safe. I'm safe, Emma says. She says it clearly with a certainty that surprises everyone in the room. The bikers are keeping me safe. The deputy looks up at Ray. Ray looks at the deputy. Something passes between the two men. Not words, just a glance. A brief, silent communication between two adults who understand what is happening and who are both, in their own different ways, moved by what a 6-year-old girl has just said. The bikers are keeping me safe. 6 words, spoken by a child who walked 4 miles in the dark and found at the end of her walk not a police officer, not a social worker, not a family member, but a group of motorcycle riders in leather vests who happened to pull into a gas station for water and peanuts on their way to a bar. The deputy arranges to drive Emma to her mother's house. He will take her in his SUV. It is standard procedure. The child needs to be reunited with her parent as quickly as possible. Janine asks if she can ride along to make sure Emma is comfortable during the drive. The deputy agrees. Janine stands up from the floor. She stretches her legs. They have gone slightly numb from sitting cross-legged on the linoleum for the last 45 minutes. She walks over to Emma and crouches down beside her. Emma, this nice deputy is going to drive you home to your mama. I'm going to come with you in the car, okay? You and me and Charlie. Emma nods. Then she looks at Janine with a sudden small urgency. Can I keep the blanket? Janine looks at Big Ed. Big Ed nods immediately. It's hers, he says. Emma stands up from the folding chair. She's wrapped in the red fleece blanket like a small cocoon, with Charlie the bear tucked inside the blanket against her chest. She walks slowly toward the door of the store. Her bare feet pad softly on the linoleum. As she passes the counter, she stops. She looks up at Dale. Thank you for the juice, she says. Dale's face does something complicated. He smiles and presses his lips together at the same time. His eyes are bright. You're welcome, sweetheart, he says. His voice cracks very slightly on the last word. Emma walks toward the door. She passes the snack rack. She passes the refrigerator case. She reaches the glass door. Ray is standing beside the door, holding it open for her. She stops in front of him. She tilts her head all the way back to look up at him. He is very tall and she is very small, and the distance between their faces is enormous. Are you going to come to my house? She asks. Ray crouches down. His knees pop. His leather vest creaks. He is at her eye level now. His face is about 18 inches from hers. Up close in the fluorescent light, his face looks different than it does from across the room. The tough exterior is still there. The gray beard, the weathered skin, the deep lines around his eyes. But at this distance, you can see something else. You can see the gentleness that lives underneath, the kindness that he does not advertise, the softness that he shows only to his daughter and to his friends' children, and to small girls who walk into gas stations at night looking for help. We're going to come to your house tomorrow, he says. We're going to bring some food. Is that okay? Emma nods. She looks at him for a long moment. Then she does something that nobody in the room is expecting. She steps forward and wraps her small arms around Ray's neck. She hugs him. The teddy bear presses against his chest. The red blanket falls partially off her shoulders. Her small face presses against the rough leather of his vest. Ray freezes for a second. Then his arms come up, slowly, and wrap around her very gently. He holds her, not tightly, just enough for her to feel that she is being held. His big, rough carpenter's hands rest on the red fleece blanket on her small back. His eyes close. The hug lasts about 5 seconds. Then Emma lets go and steps back. She pulls the blanket back up around her shoulders. She looks at Ray one more time. Then she turns and walks out the door with Janine and the deputy. Ray stays crouched by the door for a few seconds after she leaves. He does not move. His eyes are still closed. His hands are still in the position they were in when they were holding her. Then he opens his eyes. He stands up slowly. He turns around. The other riders are looking at him. Big Ed, Tommy, Frank, Leon, Marcus. 5 grown men standing in a gas station store at 10:30 at night, looking at their friend, none of them saying a word. All of them feeling the same thing at the same time. Ray walks past them. He walks behind the counter to where Dale's coffee pot is sitting on the warmer. He pours himself a cup of coffee. He takes a slow sip. He sets the cup on the counter. He looks at the floor. "Okay," he says quietly. "Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, Frank's hardware store. We make our lists. We buy the groceries, we go to the house, we fill the kitchen." Nobody argues. Nobody suggests an alternative time. Nobody says they have other plans. Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, Frank's hardware store. It is decided. The riders begin to file out of the store, one by one, each of them stopping at the counter to pay for whatever they bought. The crackers, the animal crackers, the water, the coffee. Dale rings them up one at a time on his old register. Each rider pays. Each rider leaves money on the counter, more than the items cost. Dale does not offer change. He knows they don't want change. He puts the extra money in a small pile beside the register. He will give it to Ray tomorrow for the grocery fund. Outside, the riders walk to their motorcycles. They put on their helmets. They start their engines. The deep rumble fills the parking lot one more time. 6 engines now instead of 7. Janine's Sportster still parked at the curb, waiting for her return from Emma's house. Ray is the last one to start his engine. He sits on his Road King for a moment, hands on the grips, looking at the gas station, looking at the bright fluorescent lights, looking at Dale visible through the front window, sitting back down on his stool, picking up his newspaper, returning to his quiet Thursday night. Ray starts the engine. The Road King rumbles to life. He backs out of his parking spot. He rolls across the lot. He turns north onto the highway. The other 5 riders fall in behind him one by one, forming their loose, staggered formation. 6 motorcycles head north on the highway into the warm September night. Their engines rumble. Their headlights cut through the darkness. The formation is clean. The spacing is even. Everything looks the same as it did when they arrived at the gas station an hour ago. But nothing is the same. Nothing will ever be quite the same. Something happened tonight at a gas station at a crossroads on a warm September evening. Something small. Something quiet. Something that will not make the news. Something that no one outside of this small group of people will ever know about. A little girl walked out of the dark and found a light. A group of strangers decided to help. A plan was made. And tomorrow morning, the plan will be carried out. The motorcycles disappear down the dark road, their engines fading gradually into the night, until the only sound left at the gas station is the hum of the fluorescent lights and the soft chirping of the crickets and the barely audible country music on Dale's small radio. Dale sits behind his counter. He picks up his coffee cup. It is empty. He pours himself a fresh cup from the pot. He takes a sip. He looks at the folding chair near the counter, still unfolded, still with the shop towel on the seat, still holding the faint impression of a small child who sat there for an hour. A few animal cracker crumbs are scattered on the floor around the chair. The empty pink box is on the counter. The empty apple juice bottle is in the trash can. Dale does not fold the chair up. He leaves it where it is. He does not sweep up the crumbs. He leaves them where they are. He is not sure why. He just feels like the chair and the crumbs should stay for a little while longer, as if they are evidence of something, proof that what happened tonight was real. He sits down on his stool. He picks up his newspaper. He tries to read. He reads the same sentence 3 times without absorbing it. He sets the newspaper down. He picks up his coffee. He takes a sip. He looks out the front window at the empty parking lot, where a few minutes ago 7 motorcycles were parked in a row, and a little girl in a red blanket was being hugged by a man in a leather vest. The gas station is quiet again. The same quiet it was before Emma arrived. The same fluorescent hum. The same moth-circled canopy lights. The same dark roads stretching out in both directions toward the same dark fields. But the quiet feels different now. It is not the empty quiet of a place where nothing is happening. It is the full quiet of a place where something has happened. The kind of quiet that follows a meaningful event. The kind of quiet that holds the memory of what just occurred the way a glass holds water. Visibly, clearly, for anyone who cares to look. The night continues. The clock on the wall ticks past 11. Dale's shift will end at midnight. The next attendant will come in and take over, and Dale will drive home to his small house on the edge of town. And he will walk through his front door and take off his shoes and sit in his chair in his living room and think about what happened tonight. He will think about it for a long time. He will think about it tomorrow. He will think about it next week. He will tell his wife about it over breakfast, and she will listen quietly. When he gets to the part about the hug, the part where Emma wrapped her arms around Ray's neck and Ray closed his eyes, Dale's voice will get a little tight, and he will have to stop talking for a moment and take a breath. But that is tomorrow. Tonight, Dale sits behind his counter in his gas station at the crossroads of 2 roads that don't go anywhere important, and he holds the quiet of the evening around him like a blanket, and he waits for midnight, and he thinks about a little girl named Emma, and a teddy bear named Charlie, and a group of motorcycle riders who stopped for gas and ended up doing something they never planned to do. Outside, the moths circle the canopy lights. The crickets sing their slow, patient song. The stars turn overhead. The warm September night holds everything gently. The gas station, the sleeping fields, the dark highways, the small white house 4 miles to the south, where a mother has been woken up and is holding her daughter in her arms for the first time since the afternoon. And somewhere to the north, getting smaller and quieter with each passing second, the sound of 6 motorcycle engines rumbles softly through the dark, heading home.